The following is a presentation of TFNN. It is now time for Trade What You See with your host, Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, good afternoon, folks. We're going to start out with the stock market stuff first. The first one that I posted in was the NASDAQ. And as you can see, we're making a 382 retracement of the low we made last week. That's a much stronger market than some of these that are out there, like the DAX and China and things like that. So in the same text that what John Logan was talking about, this market just does not want to go down right away. So it did make some serious patterns here last night. And I think it's important that we look at the whole complex here. The next one we'll watch is the E-mini S&P. It also came down to a made a Gartley down at that just a little below the 61% retracement. Didn't rally very much, and now it's testing it again down around that 2085 level. So we'll keep an eye on that. Anything below the 2080 level on this would be extremely negative, because we've broken down badly in the Chinese market. Even though the Chinese market had like a 7% swing last night from low to high, it was down about 4% and turned around to be up about 2%. But that market is not normal because of all the shenanigans that they have going on, in China with the way they move the market. So it's pretty much untradeable. Ours are good because you got the whole world trading those, and there's nothing that anybody can do. Well, there is, but they can't do it for a long period of time. So we want to keep an eye on that one also. So the next one that I wanted to, or the next thing that I wanted to talk about was also the breadth of the market, because I look at that each day just to see what we're looking at now, and we do have situation where the breadth is, let's just get it large so I can see it. There we go. And you'll be able to see that, the breadth is still looking badly. And in fact, it's not any better than it was, 2 weeks ago. Still down. If you'll notice on the far right-hand side here, the third chart that we're looking at, which is the highs and lows, you'll see that we're making more new lows daily on the New York Stock Exchange. That's the kiss of death, because this is the real market, and the market is going down. It's not going up. That's the bottom line of what we're looking at. And if we take a look at the New York Stock Exchange Index, which we're going to do right now. Oh, by the way, at half hour at that break, we're going to have one of my oldest and dearest friends, Jim Twentyman, is going to be visiting us today, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that Jim has taught me through the years, and he certainly has. So we'll see, what's going on. But we do have. Oh, that line got disconnected. Hold on, just a second. Maybe we have just 1 second, please, and we'll see if we can get this put up here. Well, I just typed it in there to tell you that Jim was going to be on at 6:30, and he woke up special to be on the show. So let's hope that he's going to be on. I will, let me take care of a little business here at TFNN. If you have any questions, it's 877-927-6648. Let me put in Jim's number into for Al, so that he'll be able to call him, and then we'll be able to have him on. Please RSVP me, Al, that you got this, so we'll be able to take a look at it. So the breadth is still, I think that we're just getting ready to melt down, but I could be totally wrong in this, and we'll have to let us see. But anything below 1175, you'll be able to attend. Golly, Larry, 2075 will certainly be heading down, in the market. But they're not going to go straight down because, they have periods where they actually hold up pretty good. There's a few stocks that look interesting. I wanted to share with you. We were talking. No, I wasn't talking. We were listening to John Logan talk about wheat, and that's one of the things that I wanted to bring to your attention this morning, because it's just a scalp trade. But this is you make your dollars and cents on these by picking trades that have very low risk patterns, like on ABCD patterns and Gartley patterns. Those are what you're looking for. You're not trying to buy something and hold it for 3 or 4 weeks most of the time. Most of us here at TFNN Trading, are looking to, trade to make a profit. It doesn't make any difference what the time frame is. But if we take a look here at the Christmas wheat, you'll see that we had a big ABCD pattern in August. Went all the way up to the 529 level. Then it dropped 40 cents. Made a perfect ABCD pattern to the downside, right on the money at 484. From there it rallied up to the 61% retracement, again doing an ABCD pattern to the upside. So you see those over and over again. So what we're having now is that if we can get wheat about another 4 cents lower, it's going to be setting right at a 61% retracement. It's right near that hold level from all through August, other than the report after the report where the market dropped below it for a little bit. So it's going to be into some pretty significant, point and figure support, and that'll come in around 450, 495 a bushel. And from that level, you only have to risk 6 cents. You become a wheat farmer for 6 cents. You don't have to own the equipment or anything. And the profit on that would be, your first profit objective would be your, the amount that you're risking, which would be 6 cents. And the second profit objective would be 12 cents. And that would take you up into the 508 level, which is no more or less than the 61% retracement of the last high at 514. So that's what that is. That's just a trade that we're looking at to try to see if it's going to fulfill itself. That's really what we're watching. Okay, now the next one that I wanted to talk to you about is we have to cover some of this stock stuff because we are at some critical times here in the stock market. And I wanted to show you the utility index, because that market, has now just about completed a perfect 61% retracement on the whole move down, which is it's been quite a move down. And then since the 1st of July, we have been rallying in the Dow Jones Utilities. And of course, we've been going sideways in the stock market, with the exception of the New York Stock Exchange Index. That one has not been going, south. That has been going down. And we did have that 20-minute line that came in yesterday, and we'll have Jim talk about that when he comes on, and we'll see what happens. When I worked at Drexel, Jim was the very first person that I hired. He had been a broker at Conti Commodities. He had been a broker at Clayton Brokerage Firm back in the 60s. And he moved over when Roy Longstreet sold the company to Conti. They moved across the street. Roy Fassel became the office manager there. Jim's office was right next door to Ricky the Rocket Barnes, one of the market wizards. And Rick only had one account. That was Goldman's Egg City. And he traded eggs for the Goldman family. And, of course, most of you that are familiar with eggs, it's nothing more than recycled soybean meal, because the chicken feed is pretty much all meal to turn it into eggs. And so he did that. And then finally, I believe it was 1972, 71 or 72, Rick quit and went to New York to become a trader. He leased a seat on the Chicago Board of Trade, and that's where he got the nickname Bid a Million Barnes, because he was in the pit. And he was basically very, very bullish beans, and he was pretty much tapped out. He had like about 30,000 left in his account, and all of a sudden he just started buying beans 200 at a time, 200 contracts at a time, and the market must have been ready to go, because it exploded to the upside, taking him out of harm's way. And from then on, he went on to make, well, he's still making it. So he has his own clearing firm and stuff like that. And, Jim knows him pretty well, too. And Jim worked with his son when Jim worked at Commodity Quote Graphics for a few years when he lived up in Denver. I convinced Jim to come out to live in Pismo Beach, California, from New York back in 1988 or 89. I had a beautiful trading house up there on the cliffs overlooking Pismo Beach, and it was a beautiful 4-bedroom house, and the bottom part of the house was all trading, and the upper part of the house was all furnished, but it was empty because I lived in the city of San Luis Obispo. And so guests would come in like Bryce Gilmore and Bob Miner, Mark Douglas, Robert St. John. There were just so many of them through the years that it became, a really, really great place to hang out. Well, Jimmy lived there, and so he was one of the people that helped me work on the neural net for those 4 years while Dennis was still alive. So we've been around a long time together, and he's one smart cookie. But anyway, the problem is he's not the most talkative dude in the world. So when I told one of my friends I was having Jimmy as a guest, he said, "Are you crazy?" He said, "How are you going to get him to talk?" I said, "Jimmy always talks to me, so shouldn't be any problem at all." Anyway, that's what's happening with Utility Index, and thanks for bearing with me on the trip through memory lane with my good friend Jim. Now we want to take a look at the transportations, because they've completed an ABCD in a bear market, and that is along with the commodity markets that are, going lower and lower. We made lower lows in copper last night, and many of the other commodities. They have no friends. That's basically it. Silver and gold are the only ones that have held up. Gold has been an enigma because, it should have backed off, and it hasn't. In fact, it almost took out the old highs this morning, and it still might. Who knows? But the fact that it hasn't, backed off at all is very, very reminiscent of a market that is just totally sold out. And as we mentioned many times, the number of hedge funds that are short the gold market, and they went short in that area of 1140 to 1130 when it broke down to the 1065 level. Now they're very close to being underwater. Any move above, 1130, 1140, they're going to put them in underwater. And if they start to cover, you could be at $1,200 very, very fast, and that would be the $140 rally off of the bottom that we could get in a bear market. And that's what gold and silver are both in bear markets. There's no denying that. It's just a question of how much more they're going to rally, if they are. Okay, we'll take a little break here, and then we'll cover some more things about the market.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, folks, we're back, and we'll have Jim Twentyman on at the break. I have to tell you that my two most memorable memories with Jim, when we worked at Drexel, Jim loved to play blackjack, and he had bought a brand new Porsche Carrera. Was one of the ones that had it had four 2-barrel carburetors? I forget which was an S. It was the S series, but anyway, it was a really fast car, and he wanted to take it to Vegas. So we left in the after. Well, it was early in the morning because we. Forget why it was so late, but anyway, it was late at night, and we were driving to Las Vegas, and we were driving it. He was going this was Highway 10, and everybody drove 90 miles an hour on that road, and he was going about 110, and I was very uncomfortable. And some car, a red Ferrari or Lamborghini or something, passed us up like we were standing still. And Jim said, "I'm going to catch him." I said, "Oh, no, please." Well, he got the car up to 160 miles an hour, and we pulled into a gas station in Las Vegas to get gas, and there was a highway patrolman there, and he asked us if we had seen a red car speeding. And we lucked out on that one. The other time was he had a little plane, and the handle on it was Whiskey 19er, and he would fly from Santa Monica Airport up to Provo, Utah, and he I don't like those kind of planes, but he asked me to go with him, so I went up, flew up there with him, and we got caught in one of those god-awful storms into the Wasatch Mountains, and I really thought that was it, because it was lightning and thunder, and the plane was shaking back and forth. And when we got off the ground, I had to dry heaves and everything else. And I took a commercial plane home. I would never ride again in a small plane. So anyway, that's the old. There's a lot of other stories, of course, but the one other story I got to tell you, because this is my daughter's birthday. My daughter Jill is 47 years old, and when she was 4 years old, Jimmy used to come over once a week, usually Friday or Saturday, to have dinner with us, sometimes Sunday dinner. But when he first got there, Jill noticed that on Jimmy's left hand, he has two fingers that are missing at the first knuckle, because he had a lawnmower accident. And she asked him, she said, "Jim," she said, "why do you don't have any fingers?" And off the top of his head, he said, "Well, when I was little, I sucked my thumb. Or I sucked my fingers, just like my daughter." Both Jill and Laren both were thumb suckers at that age. We had tried everything, medicine, psychiatric help, everything. We couldn't get them to stop. They stopped that night when Jim told them that that's how he lost his fingers. That was it. They never sucked their thumb again. And so he saved me a fortune in psychology things through the years. But those are a lot of memories. Okay. Back to the markets. One of the things I'm going to have Jim talk to us about today is when Jim worked with me at Drexel, we had a heck of a business there, and we had private offices, and they had built a little window between Jim's office and my office, because we could talk without being on the phone. And Jim was always interested in studying GAN, and he was working really hard towards that. And so I worked it out with Drexel to give him a year's sabbatical with pay, just to study the the WD GAN stuff. And so he went to work over at the Institute. What was it? I can't even remember the name of it now. Jimmy will remember. Anyway, but he stayed there for a year working with Jerry Baumring and his group that later became the Institute for Sacred Science. It's down in Orange County now. And but he did a lot of study with GAN, and we'll ask him some questions about that if we get him on the line. That's the $64 question. I'm relying on Al to do that for me. If not, we'll get him in right after the break, and we'll see if we can come into it. Well, the high that we had, I believe, on Monday is a very significant high. If we turn really strong in the stock market here, we've got a chance to break out to the upside, much like what John Logan was talking about. There's certainly that possibility. How high it's going to go, I won't know. The overall breadth of the market is still bad. The fact that the market could not break very much, given the fact that we were down over 6% in China, and everybody is watching that. So it's an important thing to watch how markets react to, different news things. So we'll have to, let the market tell us in China if it's ever going to go down again. I think it is. It's just a question of whether it's going to move on to the downside. I have a question about the wheat trade. Oh, got to take a break here. We'll come back. We're going to have, hopefully, we're going to have Jim Twentyman on, and we'll ask him some questions.
In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization optimization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has just announced a brand new morning lineup that is geared specifically for traders in this volatile traders market. Every morning at 8 a.m., John Logan starts things off with his daily program, The Global Market Pulse. At 9 a.m., Larry Pesavento trades the market during the market open Monday through Friday on Trade What You See. At 10 a.m., Tom O'Brien hosts the Money Masters for the hour, and Basil Chapman hosts his Tiger Technicians Hour at 11 a.m. From 8 a.m. till noon every market day, these traders are with you as they provide up-to-the-second market information so that you can make the most educated and profitable trades possible. The new TFNN morning lineup is happening right now. Tune in to see for yourself what kind of actionable trading discussion they have each morning, Monday through Friday, starting at 8 a.m., live only on Tiger TV at TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, we're back, and I believe we have Mr. Jim Twentyman on the line. JT, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, and hope my sound is okay.
Oh, it sounds like you're sitting right next to me here in, it's not Pismo Beach, but we had a lot of fun back in those days, didn't we, partner?
Sure did.
Hey, listen, I've already told the folks a story about the Porsche and the Ferrari going to Las Vegas and the death flight into the Wasatch Mountains. And but you know, Jimmy, today is Jill's birthday. You know, and you were the one that stopped my daughters from sucking their thumb because of your accident that you had when you were a kid. It was the best thing that ever happened to my kids to get away with that. Anyway, let's talk to the markets a little bit. Jimmy worked at the what was Don Mack's the library called? Jimmy, I've lost. I can't remember. Institute or something, wasn't it?
I think it was called the Investment Library. There might have been more to the name, but
yeah, it was
he had about 5,000 books that he had collected over the years, and he prided himself on signed editions.
Yeah, he sure did. He was the one that gave me the Gartley book because I asked him, what was the best book in that whole library, and that's the one he pointed out to me. And he was a good friend. I enjoyed him very much. And how many years did you work there studying GAN and sacred science and stuff like that? It's about a year and a half or more, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, I spent better part of a couple years.
Mm-hmm. And what would you, when you came away from it, what would you think would be the best? Well, you learned a lot of knowledge, but you came out with a lot of knowledge. What would you say would be the best thing that you came away from that experience, working with all those smart traders and all that information?
Well, I think the wealth of information of all the different ways there are to trade markets. It just it's kind of mind-boggling because you go back to guys like a guy named Jackson, which most people never heard of, and he had something I don't even remember the name. Golden Rule comes to mind, and he was still alive at the time when I was in my late 30s. He was 92, and he had met a lot of the people that had written some of the old books, and it was quite fascinating to talk to him about who made money and who didn't, and how well they did. It just I think the biggest takeaway was the wealth of information of different ways to trade markets.
Mm-hmm. Jim, you taught me about harmonic numbers 40 years ago, and how did you come up with that concept?
Well, there was a man who he's dead now. He died about 20 years ago. Jerry Bommering had talked about GANs and GAN's vibration, and GAN didn't really leave behind any what I would call real specifics of how to look at it, but we started experimenting with different levels. It would be a similar concept to Fibonacci. You would take something like gold, for instance, and you'll be looking at maybe every $5, $10, and $20 as levels. And we would, in those days, we didn't have computers like we have now, so we can computerize it and can do in seconds what would take us literally days to do with a pencil and a ruler. And that kind of reminds me of thinking back to GAN and his angles. He had his angles, and he always did it by a concept of 1 by 1. And that was difficult to, or let me put it this way: as time went on, I realized that 1 by 1 there could be a better way. It may be 1 by 1.5 could be your 1 by 1s, or so a lot of experimentation over time, and a lot of mistakes along the way.
We're all used to those, that's for sure. Jim, now we did a lot of work with astrology when you and I and Dr. Miller wrote that book, Astro Cycles: A Trader's Viewpoint, and you still do some work in astrology. What is the what do you use when you do astrological things? Now, and I know you're really a consummate astrologer, but you still use some of that in your timing for trading, as I recall.
I just try to look at the mostly heliocentric, although there's some geo that will work from time to time. You can't ignore the geo, but the helio, I like to look at the two. I think the two of the biggest drivers are consistent drivers would be Venus and Jupiter. You can't ignore the rest of them, and a lot of people, for instance, ignore the rotation of the sun itself, which is every 27.27 days. That is so closely aligned to the moon cycle that the two go hand in hand, I guess is the best way to put it.
Okay, now I wanted to ask, put your feet to the fire here a little bit. If you had to, tell the folks one market that you're particularly watching, or one or two markets that look like they might be ready for a turn. I mean, a lot of these commodities have been going down forever. I was just wondering if you're seeing anything in some of these that should be on our radar to be looking at.
Well, I'd say I'm looking at my board here this morning, and gold. I guess the best way to describe it, I'm still bearish, long term, but I think there's a good chance you're going to have a pop here in the next few weeks, probably because of the asset, the devaluation of the yuan might have a lot to do with it. But it's quite firm here this morning, and it has a breakout on a Gann angle, which is quite long. It's I'm looking at my board here. It's almost 3 months long, and it's having a bit of a breakout here this morning. And generally, it'll break out, come back, and kiss the line. If it's really got a head of steam up, it'll never come back and kiss the line that it's breaking out of. That's one of my alerts. And I'd say two others. The beans probably go into the harvest low the first week in October. That you can almost set your watch by that one. We have a big supply. China seems to take all the supply, both South America and North America, but they don't take any more than the supply. So they don't really become a driver in the market for much. They become pretty smart about how they buy the beans. And I think we're just kind of in the doldrums here waiting to make that final low, although it can come a little early. It can come in September, so you have to be on guard. And I'd say the third thing that really interests me, but I don't have a good handle on it at the moment, is the bonds, the 30-year bond.
Mm-hmm. You've always been a proficient bond trader, that's for sure. Jim, one other question I want, then I'll let you go. But we've had a lot of fun here at TFNN over the past couple of months looking at the 20-man line, and no one had ever heard of it, and I had to explain where I got it from and who you were and everything. So for some reason, we've seen so darn many of these recently that it's really amazing. Do you remember? I mean, we've been friends for 50 years, but do you remember how you came about doing that? Was that just drawing charts and looking at the angles of lines? Is that how you came up with it? Because Eddie Horowitz still uses it.
Well, and, it was with paper charts at the time, and I had a fascination with Gann angles. And I had a plastic overlay I could use on charts. And of course, some were correct and some weren't. And it took a long time for me to figure out, which was good and which wasn't. And of course, with electronic charts now, you can literally do in seconds things that would take days with a pencil and a ruler, as far as research goes. I've been thinking about what you said, and I think that the electronic trading actually makes all these points sharper for some reason, and I can't put my finger on it, but you don't have the floor community like the old days, because they finally closed the last pit in July. The electronic trading seems to make all these points sharper and more precise, and I think as time goes on we'll learn more. But the fascination came from with Gann angles. That was the start of it, and then there was a man, and I'm not sure he's still alive, that lived near my hometown in upstate New York, drew channels, and he always took two lows, and then he took the intervening high and drew channels, and he would his modus operandi was the breakout of the channel. And of course I've done thousands and thousands of those channels, and the channel concept is probably just as valid today as it ever was. I think the older days it was a little easier because that was more precise to read. But the channel, you quite often the breakouts would break out of the channel, and you'd come back and tap the line one time, and then go to the target area of the channel. And I think just repetition, doing thousands and thousands of those type of charts.
Well, listen, I want to thank you for being on the show, buddy, and hopefully we'll have you on again. And if these recommendations that you told us work out, we'll definitely have. And if they don't work out, we'll not hear from you again.
Well, thank you. It's a real pleasure. I've never done this before, and it's rather fun.
Well, it's of course this is not the Johnny Carson show. You realize that, don't you?
Well, you're a close second, though.
Oh, get out of here. Hey, listen, buddy, you have a good day. If you run into Jill today in San Luis Obispo, wish her happy birthday, okay?
I will. I'll make it a point of her. How old is she now?
47.
47. Wow. Time marches on.
Amen, brother. Listen, take it easy, JT, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
You bet. Okay, that was Jim Twentyman. Okay, we'll get back to the markets here. Let's take a look here now at this New York Stock Exchange Index, because this showed that Twentyman line that we had talked about on Monday. And as you can see here, we've gapped down quite a bit today. And this could be the start of something pretty big. We've damaged a lot of technical things, but we're still at the 786 now in the S&P. But we've come down so hard. Now remember, every time this market is down this much in the first hour, the buyers come in. So don't get too overly bearish on this thing and sell it into a hole, because that's not the thing to do. You want to sell it when it's in those areas of resistance where you can, quantify your risk very much. If you sell something into a hole here and it rallies back like it has many times, that's not very intuitive or smart trading, in my opinion. That's at least the way I look at it. Now, I had a question about the euro this morning, and that was the euro has been going down. I think that we're still going down, but we had a rally that happened right after a report, and then it fell quite a bit. But I just wanted to show you folks how these markets can react, especially the bonds and the euro. And you'll see that we had this huge rally of about 60 pips in a matter of a couple of seconds, and then the market proceeded to go down and make new lows. And we're very bearish, the euro, but the only way you can participate in something like that is you have to have your order setting in there above the market to sell it, because by the time it hit 110.77, the next trade was at 20 pips lower. In other words, it dropped from 77 to below 60, because I happened to be watching that, and then it just kept going and lower, and so you have to have your order setting in there if you want to be filled on that. The same thing is true about what happened with the Treasury bonds during that report. Now, the Treasury bonds, the 382 retracement of this drop that we've had over the last 3 days in Treasury bonds came in at 157.08, and the high was 157.10, and then it proceeded to drop almost a full handle in just a matter of a few minutes. So if you don't have your order setting there in some of these markets, you can stand there without having a trade on, and you try to miss it. The good part about these is that when you're selling these, you're selling them into a downtrend, so you've got that working in your favor. Okay, we'll take a little break here. We'll come back and we'll wind up the show for today.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
Catch the Money Masters as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to trading and investing. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I just wanted to I put the chart of silver in because someone asked me to reinstate that. We were having a pretty good move off of that low. It's taken off almost. It's brought back almost all the losses that it made yesterday. Gold has broken out above the old high that we made, which could be something of significance. The next one I charted was the VIX index. As you can see, we gapped up in the VIX index, but nothing too spectacular as yet. We'll have to let the market see what it's going to do like the rest of the day. But as I mentioned before, many times when the market's down this much the first hour, buyers come in and you'll have reversal days. Now, maybe this is not one of those days, but keep in mind that this is the type of thing that's happened in the past. One of these days, it's not going to reverse. It's going to keep going to the downside. But, you'll be able to see that happening because there just won't be any rallies. They'll, rally for 4 or 5 bars, 20 minutes and then new lows again. So that's usually how that occurs. Now, we talked about this gold market $50, $60 ago, about a potential for a big move, and that's what's happening. We're seeing the same type of potential in the oil complex, folks. We really are. You've got crude oil has not made new lows other than just by a few pennies. Heating oil's made new lows but bounced back. Gasoline has not made new lows from last January as of yet, even though they made recent lows, and that's the one that's been holding the whole complex down because it's dropped, well over 13 cents a gallon here in the last few weeks when the oil and the heating oil have actually held up a little bit. So keep your radar, on the heating oil complex, because especially heating oil, because it's got a chance here. We just made a 61% retracement in heating oil just a few minutes ago at the $42 a barrel level. And if that's going to be the bottom, then it's going to be interesting because you could start to see possibly a move higher. Anything below 41.70, though, in the crude oil certainly would negate that scenario, if in fact that's what I'm looking at from that point of view. So you want to keep that on the radar anyway, is to watch that oil market. And the whole world is bearish oil, just like they were gold. So keep that in mind too. Okay, live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.